Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troll.
(1973 to 1976). Welcome back, baseball fans. 1973-76 Carryover League, another opening day, and we got a matchup between the Rangers and the Expos, and you might find this to be a potential exciting matchup of teams who overachieved a year ago and they're facing each other. That's what the schedule maker often does. You have a good year and then your schedule gets tough the following year, and it's sort of doubtful both of these franchises in some level of transition will continue to be good, and the loser of this series could start to find that out. So here it is, opening day. We're already talking about, elimination. But that's not the case, but it's just a foregone conclusion. The Rangers and Expos are really going to be battling against stronger teams in their divisions. So the Rangers boast the only team without a pitcher who threw over 200 innings, for better or worse, which gives them a three-man bullpen, but it's a strong three-man of Foucault, Lindblad, and Hands. They've added talent to the offense the last few years with the Hargroves, the Harris, Lenny Randall, Jeff Burrows. That's all great. Still plenty of holes. Expos haven't quite got the band together yet. That would be really good in the late 70s, early 80s. Andre Dawson's not here yet. Warren Cromartie's not here yet. Ellis Valentine's here. Larry Parrish is here, though they're not particularly fantastic. So, and again, that great pitching staff is still in its infancy. Again, we still see a lot of the 69 Expo expansion here. Plus, of course, we've relocated them to the American League, playing in Vermont. It's a 2-hour drive from Montreal. Rangers Expos, opening day. Your pitching matchup, a battle of starter eights. Jim Bibby for the Rangers was 9-10 with a 3.24 ERA, 180 innings in 1973. And Steve Rogers' brilliant rookie campaign of 73. I think he got a late start in that season, pitched just 134 innings. Was 10-5 with a $1.54 ERA. He would never have a lower ERA once he becomes a ace of their team, pitching 200 or 300 innings. He would never have an ERA this good. So this should be a really interesting game with overachieving teams who expect a lot of hustle here. Let's get started from Expo Land. It's Rangers Expos leading off. Toby Harrah. 33 rolls to third. Dave Nelson, 6'10", third X. Third base is Bob Bailey, a 4.19. And he makes the play. Lenny Randall, 1-7, grounds the first. Bottom half of Jerry White leads off for the Spos. 66 is a strikeout. Ron Hunt, hit by pitch machine, 4'10", third X. Third baseman is Len Randall. 3.26 for the Rangers. That's an error for Lenny. Mike Jorgensen, 2-6 is a walk. 2 on, 1 out for Bob Bailey. 2-5, well, 6-4, 3 double play. And that ends that inning. Short circuits it. Top of 2. Jeff Burrows, MVP. And let's take a look at Burrows. So he got the MVP awarded last year. Probably could have given it to Catfish Hunter if I really wanted to be a dedicated pitcher, as Hunter was like 13-1 at one point before I lost track of his one-loss record. But we gave it to Burrows on the premise that the Rangers snuck into the playoffs. Burrows does win the 1974 MVP anyway. We're still using the 73 card, which we think it's very close to the 74 card, frankly. And if it wins an MVP, we're just sticking with it. So he'll win it with a 73 card versus the 74 card in our recreation. 1-5 is gone. One of the 30 homers Jeff hit in 1973. Rangers grab an early lead. Number 5 hitter Tom Grieve. He strikes out. Joe LaHood, 5'11", short X. And yep, Larry Parrish is playing short today for better or worse. And he makes the play. And you'll see why a little bit later when he comes to the plate. Ken McMullen, 33, grounds a short. Ron Fairley for the Spos. 1-8 is a walk. Ellis Valentine making his debut today. 2-5, and that's not how you want to start, with a 6-4-3 double play. And John Stevenson, 34, pops to second base. We go to the third. 1-0. Jim Sundberg making his debut. We got some rookie youngsters beginning their careers today. Boots Day, 2-10. 2-10, let's take a look at Boots. He was part of the Expo expansion in 69. He's still around in 73. Good defensive center fielder in a platoon. 2-10 is homer 1-11. It'll be a double. Runner at second, back up top for Toby Hara. 2-4, center. And Dave Nelson. 57 is a K. So former Expo Boots Day gets stranded at second base. Bottom of the third, Leroy Stanton. 57 is a K. Number 9 hitter Larry Parrish. Let's take a look at Larry Parrish. This is the rookie card of 75. Defense, bad. Figuring out where we're going to put him. He's a 40-35 at third, which is almost the worst you can be defensively. He's equally bad at the other position, so they put him at shortstop. You get more bang for your buck at that position if your defense is going to be bad anyway. This keeps Bob Bailey and Larry Parrish on the field at the same time with Ron Fairley at DH. So it gives you plenty of bats in this Expo lineup by doing it this way. Bring in defense late. They do have Mick Kelleher who can come in and play short late in the games. Pitch to Larry Parrish. 66 as a fly ball to left. Back up top, Jerry White. He draws a walk. B stealer, but Sundberg has a -2 arm. Ron Hunt. 2-10, rolls the third. We go to the fourth. It'll be Len Randall, actually. 2-4 rolls to third. Jeff Burrows again, flies to left. The offensive today. And Tom Grieve, 1-6, double 1-11, base hit. Joe LaHood, 2-10, draws a walk. 2 on, 2 outs for Ken McMullen. 35 is a walk, and your bases are loaded for Jim Sundberg. 47, single 1-10 off of Steve Rogers' card, and he gets it on a 3. So Rogers, with 2 outs, losing control here. It's now 2-zip. And number 9 hitter Boots Day, former Expo who doubled his first time. 6-11, first X, but you got the guy at first you want. You got 1-2 Mike Jorgensen collecting the ground balls. That ends the inning. Okay, not many damage, just 2-zip. Plenty of time for the Expos to rally. Bottom of the fourth. Here is Mike Jorgensen. 69 rolls a second. Bob Beetle Bailey. 49 walks. Did that a lot. Ron Fairley. 1-8. He draws a walk. Bailey and Fairley. They age like fine wine. Reminiscent of the Tigers who K-Line and Cash and so forth. They just endless careers, it seems. Ellis Valentine. 48 is a K. And with 2 outs, John Stevenson, 5'10", catcher's X. 2-5 for Sundberg, and the inning is over. John Stevenson was picked up as a left-handed hitting catcher. We do have Gary Carter. We just wanted to get an extra left-handed bat in today's lineup, as Bibby's very good against righties. Into the fifth. 2-zip. Toby Hara. 3-10 flies to left. Dave Nelson. 4-12 rolls back to the mound. And Len Randall, 1-7, is a roller to first base. 2-zip. Bottom of the fifth. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, Expos have to get it going here. They're down a couple in the fifth. It's Leroy Stanton. 46 is a walk. And Larry Parrish. 2-4. That's a 5-4-3 double play. That is the third one in 5 innings for the Spos. That's not a good look. Jerry White, 38, flies to center. You know, it sometimes takes a while to get the right combination of batting order, pitching substitutions, defensive substitutions. It takes a little while to figure out the new rosters. And funny part is that normally the opening series is plenty of hitting and lousy pitching. This year, it's plenty of pitching and lousy hitting. And normally there's a correction for each of those, and we'll see how that plays out as the league progresses. Top of the 6th, it's Jeff Burrows. 1-9 walks. Tom Grieve, 6-6, fly ball left. Joe LaHood, 67, lines to short. And Ken McMullen, 1-7 is a K. You know, Oakland, the heavy favorite in the American League, lost 3 out of 4 to the Tigers to start the year. So the West suddenly has opened up, at least for the first week of the season, for the Rangers, today leading, or the Angels or Mariners to come out as a Cinderella story. So we'll see how this plays out. Ron Hunt, 6'10", short X. Toby Harrah is a 3-32 at short, and that'll be a base hit. Hunt's a B stealer. He'll stay over there with Sundberg's arm. Mike Jorgensen. 1-6. Let's take a look at a player. And this fascinating Mike Jorgensen card of 1974. In 74 in the National League, Steve Garvey won the MVP. We all know Steve Garvey of the Dodgers. Great fielding first baseman. Jorgensen matches that defensive prowess, actually a lower E rating. And as a left-handed hitter, draws a ton of walks. If I had my choice of those two players, I want Jorgensen, at least for this 1 year of 1974. Now, context needs to be added here. It's less than 400 plate appearances for Mike Jorgensen, whereas Garvey was an everyday player, we know, had a consecutive game streak. But what a great card for Mike Jorgensen in 1974. 2 more years with it, then he'll kind of turn into a pumpkin. He'll be decent, but never this great. 1-6, homer 1 double. It's a 2-base hit. Hunt, 11 runner, will stay. Yeah, he'll stay at third. Bob Bailey with runners at second and third. 2-4, grounds to short. That gets 1 run in. The other guy stays at second. It's 2-1. Ron Fairley. 2-3 rolls to first. The runner from second goes to third now for Ellis Valentine. 2-8 grounds to short. 2-1 game. Nicely played. Into the 7th we go. It's Jim Sundberg. 57 a K. Boots Day. 6'10", pops to third. And Toby Harrah. 3-6. That'll be a walk. One of his 98 walks of 1975. Toby's an ace stealer. Stevenson a +1 arm, so he's going to take off with a lead and so forth, and he's in there on an 8. So Toby steals second base, gets in a scoring position for Dave Nelson. 39, but Dave Nelson grounds to short. It's a 2-1 game. Jim Bibby's a starter 8, having a nice day himself. Had a no-no until the 6th. Hargrove started the day on the bench because Steve Rogers is outstanding versus lefties. But I think we're going to put a first baseman in here now. Hargrove will take over at first base. And we'll take out Ken McMullen. Simple substitution there. Bottom of the 7th. Stretch time here in Expo Land, Burlington. We are enjoying this interesting record. Beautiful rivers and mountains, the psychedelic rock sound of South Korea's Shin Young-hyun, 58-74. Really interesting guitar twang LP discovered on the spots defies. So every once in a while you get a really cool recommendation. We got this one, and boy, we've been digging this. Very unique stuff here. Back to the game. Bottom of the 7th. 2-1 affair, Jim Bibby trying to hold on. Again, they've got a great bullpen. This is what the Rangers want to do. They want to somehow get a lead late. Then they feel confident. The hard part is getting the lead, and they've already done that. They really like Lindblad and Foucault. Bibby's a starter 8. Sometimes that's a curse because you want to leave him in for the 7th and he gets rocked. Sometimes starter 8s and starter 9s suffer from that. They blow their own saves because they're in there too long. But he'll continue to face the bottom of the lineup. John Stevenson. 55, and there's a walk. That's a ground out if it was right-handed. Lee Stanton. 53, first C. Time run in scoring position for Larry Parrish. 46 off Bibby is a walk. First and second. Now he's on the books for a potential loss should these guys score. You got a switch hitter White, a righty Hunt, and then a lefty Jorgensen. And 8 outs to collect in a narrow 2-1 game. This is what I'm saying, folks. These two teams are going to have to do tough decisions all year long with their roster compositions here. Do you hang with Bibby? It wouldn't be his point of weakness. I think you let him pitch through Hunt and see what happens. And get a lefty-lefty versus Jorgensen. So Jerry White. 212 pops short. And with 2 on and 2 outs, it's Ron Hunt. 67 is a K. So Jim Bibby is granted more life. He'll probably go into the 8th now with a 2-1 lead as a starter 8. And another starter 8, Steve Rogers takes them out in a 2-1 game. I thought this would be fun and exciting and competitive, and it is. Len Randall, 64, center. No notable gaffes by either squad yet. Leroy Stan's a 2 in center field. 2E9 in center field. And he makes the grab. Burrows, 2-4, center. And with 2 outs, Tom Grieve. 310, flies to left field. Bottom of the 8th. Let's see here. It is Jurgensen, Bailey, Fairley, Stevenson. This seems like Paul Lindblad territory. So even though your ace is a starter 8, we think that the Ranger bullpen is going to lead the league in innings pitched with these cats. Fortunately, they're all relief 3s. So let's begin with Paul Lindblad here in the 8th. Plus, it's not as if the Rangers are going to have 1 or 2 run leads all year long in every game they play. So when they do, you may as well bring this stage out. Paul Lindblad in the 8th. He was with Oakland? Yes, in 76 with a 3.05 ERA at 115 innings. Pretty interesting little side note about the 1976 Oakland A pitching staff. Vida Blue is a number 1 starter, was on the Ohio players. Mike Torres, the number 2 starter, is on the Oakland A's. Stan Bonson was a starter. He is back with the White Sox, and Paul Lindblad is here with the Rangers, all from the 76 Oakland A's. Interesting. That's when they weren't in the playoffs. Paul Lindblad here will face Mike Jorgensen. 55, grounds a second. Bob Bailey. 58, pops to short. And with 2 outs, Ron Fairley, he does fine against lefties. Lindblad is frankly pretty symmetrical, so he's actually better against righties. We'll actually let him swing away. 5'10", center X. Center field is Boots Day. He's 3-1. He's the best you're going to find for Texas. The weakness is their outfield defense. That's a single. As you have Burrows and LaHood in the corners are not pretty good. Fairly good. And so the tie run at first at 2 outs, it'll be Ellis Valentine. 37 is a strikeout for the rookie. Having an 0 for 4, 2 strikeout, double play, beginning to his career. 2-1 at the 9th, Steve Rogers. You got lefties coming up. We'll pull them after 8. And Mickey Scott, the lefty in the pen, face the lefties. It'll be Joe LaHood leading off. He's a 3 outfielder, so they'll leave him in the game, mostly for defense. Here's the pitch to Joe LaHood. 35 is a sky to center field. Now you have Mike Hargrove, who entered to play first base. 69 is a line into the third. With 2 outs, it's Jim Sundberg. 2-6 is a strikeout. Well, here we go, folks. Buckle up. What a thriller. What a fun game this has been. 2-1. Nicely played game into the 9th. Lindblad, Foucault are available. On the Expo bench, you do have Gary Carter and Pepe Frias McKelleher. You have John Stevenson, a lefty who is okay against lefties. But you have to consider, when would you go to your bench if you don't do it now? Because beyond that, you got righty, Stanton Parrish, Jerry White, rinse and repeat at the top. All the top hitters are outstanding. So I'm going to go Gary Carter to pinch hit here. Frias, Pepe, Frias, and McKelleher, they're really just defensive players. And Carter's the last decent bat on the bench. Let's look at the Gary Carter card of 1975. 270 card with 17 home runs. Yeah, pretty hard to believe that Carter and Parrish both came up in the same year. Lindblad. You could go Foucault here and just call it and just play it straight by the numbers. We're going to do that. As righties are on the horizon. By the time Jorgensen and Fairley come up, the game may already be decided. So Steve Foucault will try and get the save. He comes in, great Texas Ranger season of 1974, 2.25 ERA, 144 innings. That's a lot. That's right up there with the Goose Gossage, almost the Mike Marshall number. 144 innings for relief, dedicated relief 3. Back when relievers often went 3 or 4 innings to close games and so forth. So, Steve Foucault will face Gary Carter. Here's the pitch. 66, flies to left. The extra inning rule would favor a team like the Rangers, where you don't have to worry about going to 15, 16, 17 innings and burning out your bullpen, with the extra inning usually decided in the 10th or 11th inning most times. But that's hopefully for the Rangers, they don't have to get that far. With 1 out, it's Leroy Stanton. He is over 2 with a walk. 69 off Foucault is a pop to first, and it comes down to Larry Parrish not having a great start. Neither did Ellis Valentine. We saw his card earlier. Needs a 1-5 walk-off homer chance. Tie it. Here's your pitch to Larry Parrish. 3-7 is a strikeout, and that's your ball game. Well, the Rangers win a low-scoring affair, 2-1. They did it with decent enough defense. I didn't see any major gaffes there. Great relief pitching and good starting pitching. And some timely Jeff Burrows MVP homer and a 2-out hit by Jim Sundberg. So there's that. Final score, 2-1. Jim Bibby with the win. Steve Foucault with the save. Steve Rogers with a defeat. Looks like it's going to be a fun series. Game 2 here in Expo Land. Stan Perzanowski, a one-and-done Ranger, will get the start versus Dave McNally, a good Dave McNally, using a Baltimore Dave McNally card. Then when we go to Texas, the Expos will put Steve Renko out there versus Ranger rookie Jim Umbarger. And then the Expos in Game 4, if there is one, Dan Worthen, a rookie, versus Steve Hargan, a player who has been out of the game. He was in the game in 1970, then he's been out of the game for 4 or 5 years, making a comeback for the Texas Rangers. So, intriguing series, to say the least. These teams are a pain in the neck if they get into the playoffs, folks, I'll tell you that. So, more will come. Stick around, and we'll let you know what happens. All right, folks, here's the box score of the game 1 you just saw. Texas Rangers get a nice road win. Steve Foucault, nice save in the bottom of the 9th there, 3 up and 3 down. Jim Bibby had a nice start, did walk a lot. Just 2 hits in 7 innings, but 8 walks to go with it, so you have to look at that as well. Steve Rogers, 8 innings, 4 hits to 2 runs. Tight, close, interesting, intriguing game. 2 gritty teams. And this is going to be a real good series, you'll see. Game 2. Expos come back. They get a 4-3 win. We had a error by Steve Perzanowski, a pitcher, so that was a mistake the Rangers made. But they got 3 runs in the 3rd, a 2-run homer by Dave Nelson. The Expos tie it in the 5th with a single, double, and triple by White, Jorgensen, and Bailey. It would get to the 8th inning as Steve Peresnowski and McNally are still out there. You get a single, a ground ball moves the runner up, and then an RBI single by the youngster Ellis Valentine, who struggled in game 1. And once you get into Murray time, that's Dale Murray, it's almost over. He's got an ERA of 1.03. 3 up and 3 down in the 9th. We got some closers, folks. Foucault and Murray. 1 run victory. Tight series. Dead even on all accounts. We'll go to Texas. And we get, in Texas, a road win and a drubbing. And these will pop up in a big series. Usually one game stands out as an outlier, and this is the one. The Expos drubbed the Rangers 9-2. Steve Ranko, 7 innings, 6 pitches, 2 runs allowed. And they beat up on the Jim Umbarger. This is his first start for the Rangers. He gave up 9 hits and 5 runs and 5 2/3. Bill Hands and the bullpen didn't help either. Do the Expos crush lefties? I don't know. Today they did, and they got a 9-2 victory, and they are now up 2-1 in the series. But this seesaw continues into game number 4. The Rangers get a 4-2 win to tie everything up again. First inning, they get to Dan Worth, the lefty starter, with a 2-base error on Gary Carter, who's in right field. They're just juggling all these new pieces they have. They're not settled at all. Carter, Stanton, I should say not Stanton, but Carter, Valentine, Larry Parrish, they're juggling them all around positionally and so forth just to get them on the field. 3 runs in the first, but here come the Expos with an RBI ground out by Stanton in the second, RBI triple by him in the fourth, make it 3-2. Stays that way. We get to the 7th inning, 2-out RBI single by number 9 hitter Ken McMullen, makes it 4-2. Steve Hargan went 7 strong innings in his major league comeback, 5 hits and 2 runs allowed. Set up a guy Paul Lindblad, pitched the 8th, and then Steve Foucault closed out the 9th with 3 strikeouts, a 4-2 win, and you got your perfect scenario, folks. You've got home and road wins on each other's stadium. 1-1-1-1 in the 2-2 thing. So you've got complete total grittiness and toughness displayed by these franchises. And game 5, it's going to go down to the wire, folks. I was predicting extra innings and getting pretty darn close. Rangers get a run in the first on an RBI single by Burroughs. Bottom of the inning, you get an error after 3 walks. The game's tied again. Top of the 2nd inning, you get a single walk, RBI single, and RBI double by Rader and Grieve, and this is 4-1. Expos make it close in the 5th when Larry Parrish gets his first Major League home run. And then another bases loaded walk. A lot of walks by Jim Bibby in his starts. We'll get you through this to the 8th. Bibby's still in there. He gets through 8 innings with 5 hits and 3 runs allowed. McNally went 6 innings, but because the Rangers seemed to hit lefties well, they went to Bob Reynolds for the last 3, and he was 9 up and 9 down. Bob Reynolds would be a closer on most teams. He has to set up Dale Murray. 4-3 game, bottom of the 9th. Steve Foucault, well, come on in. For the Rangers to win, has to pitch 1 inning and probably 1 inning only and get a save, and he did. Gave up a single to Ron Hunt, got Jorgensen to fly out, and struck out Bob Bailey to end the series. The Rangers win game 1 that you saw, lost 2, and then they win game 4 in Texas and game 5 in Expo Land by a score of 4-3. Great fun series. Let's look at some stats now of the 2 squads. The Expos losers of 3 of 5, but they played well. They're hitting .224, but they got a 2.25 team ERA. The hottest hitter is Mike Jorgensen, who's 8 for 18. Nice start for him. Now let's look at the Texas Rangers. Winners 3 of 5. Nice little story to start the year. They're hitting 193, and they won 3 out of 5 with a 348 earned run average. Tom Greaves 5 for 15, and he's got the best average on that squad. Jim Bibby's 2-0. He's given up 3 runs in 15 innings, but he's given up 14 walks and 14 strikeouts. And yes, Steve Foucault is the reason why the Rangers are where they are. 3 games, 3 innings, 3 saves, 1 hit, no walks, 5 strikeouts. And that's that. That's how it's done. Very efficient finish for the Rangers. Break them up. Good story to start the year. The Texas Rangers are in first place in the American League West as they won their series and the Oakland A's lost theirs. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.